subscribe to our videos so that more people can hear the Word of God.
Good morning and welcome to 5 Minutes a Day and welcome to Thursday. So today we are going to look at John 4:43-54. So it's titled The Healing of the Nobleman's Son. So what's happening here is Jesus is pulling a crowd together, right? The crowds are following him because they want to see the miracles. They want to see the signs and the healings. And so Jesus says, and his audience is this crowd that's following him, he says that unless you people see signs and wonders, you will by no means believe. So what he's telling them is that miracles are good and healing is great, but if that's your basis for following Jesus, that's pretty much weak faith, right? So that's what they were looking for. That's what they wanted. And Jesus was saying that shouldn't just be the focus. But if we're honest, that's true for us as well, right? Like, do we come to Jesus because we want him to do things for us, right? We want him to provide a place for us in heaven when we die. We want him to provide things for us, food, blessings, all these things, healing. Or are we just coming to Jesus simply because of who he is? John Mark Comer, I've been reading one of his books this week, and he says, let me look at the quote, is the reward for following Jesus is Jesus, right? That's our reward. And lots of times we look at the external things. What can you give me? And that's the same thing with the crowds. They're like, what can you do for us? Who can you heal? How can you entertain us with these miracles that you're doing? So even though he said that, he still addresses this nobleman who comes to him and he says, my son is sick. And he said, come with me. And Jesus says, your son is healed. I don't need to come with you. And so Jesus is saying it from where he is, and he's just speaking it into existence. And so that's the thing also as we look through this gospel, is Jesus doesn't heal the same way, right? Sometimes he speaks it into existence. Sometimes he has to touch them. Sometimes he has to raise them up, right? And so then the nobleman went on his way, and it says that he took time, like it took him a few days to go back home. So meaning that the leisurely pace that he took, he wasn't rushing, right? He wasn't like, did my son really get healed or is he dead, right? And so when he arrives home, he asks, the servant say, your son is well. And he asked the servant, when did my son get better? And it was at that moment that Jesus had said, your son is well. And so look at this, the faith that this man had, that he believed that Jesus healed his son, and then it was confirmed in asking the servants. So just want to, again, reiterate that the reward for following Jesus is Jesus. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow. And remember, 5 minutes in the Word can change your life.